Well, hello, hello, hello. I am back. Finally. Boy, there's a lot of stuff going on. Before I go too far, I have switched, I rotated my microphone. And so now I don't know which way it needs to be pointing. I got myself all confused. So this is side one. Tell me if this is better or let's flip it over to two. That side two. So I'll give you guys a second to scroll at the bottom. See which one's better, one or two. Then we'll get started. You'll be able to hear me, it just won't be as good if it's messed up. Anyhow, boy, I've been lots of stuff going on. Got sick. Number one. Okay, so let's put it back. That's what I thought. I had a feeling one was better. All right. So that is probably the way it goes. Okay. Sweet. Thanks, guys. Anyhow, uh, man, I've been got sick, and I know Tommy had it here too. He lives kind of in this area, not too far, about an hour from here. So he got sick, and man, he said it was a couple weeks before he got better, and it took me 2 whole weeks to get over it. It was just kind of a, I don't know what it was. My wife had it first. She had a minor surgery done, so I was under a lot of stress with that. And immediately, as soon as the next day after she got done with surgery, started coughing and everything. And so she ended up going to minor emergency to see what she had. Well, it wasn't the flu and it wasn't COVID, so we don't know what it was. Some type of viral thing, man, but it messes you up. I was coughing so hard I almost blacked out a couple times. So it was bad. And then somehow it took out my voice. So I ended up losing my voice for, oh man, it just literally today, first time it was good. So it's been, see, it was all last weekend. So man, all like 2 weeks before my voice was gone, and I couldn't. I mean, at some one point I couldn't talk at all. It was just completely gone. I've had laryngitis stuff before, but I've never had it where it's gone like that. But man, I'm glad to be back. It's still not perfect. Hey, the Zen Ginger. Ooh, see you in a bit. Yep, it's glad to be back. Yeah, the dog pile. Inside Out Aquatics, welcome Zen. That's right, it's the Killie Zone. We're gonna look at some killifish pictures tonight. Normally, I've been, I don't know, slacking off or something. Not got a whole lot of killifish content, but I'm going to try to start kicking that up. And tonight should be a good night. I will show you the pictures I took, and we'll talk, and I'll show you a little bit of example of how I took those pictures. I think it's a good thing to know. Hey, there's Jeff Kane. Welcome. Cosman. I was going to clean the garage, but then I got hot. Oh, yeah, whatever. Outside in. Hey, definitely couldn't help myself. Scroll down a little bit here, see if there's anybody else coming in. Everybody seeing side one? Yeah, better. Good. Oh, good, but very low. So I can't turn the volume up. All I can do is get it closer. But that's a problem. I remember the last stream I did, I had the microphone flipped over, I think, wrong. So it sounded like crud. I listened to it, I was like, oh man, that sucks. So, Carl, welcome, Carl. Thank you for the input. Hopefully that's a little better. It was low for me, but I'm on mobile and I wasn't sure. Okay. Hopefully it's a little louder now. If not, I can play with it a little more. Anyhow, so glad you guys could join me tonight. I appreciate it. So, man, I've been did a lot of stuff. Let me see here. I got sick. And then the last Tuesday, my voice was still pretty much gone. Yeah, closer you get the better. And it's a bit better. That's the problem. I can't get it too close. Let me try this. That's kind of all right. Let's try that. Fish Fam link. All right, you're here. Sweet. Anyhow, so last Tuesday I ended up doing a presentation and training for the Oklahoma animal control officers, their academy in Moore, Oklahoma. They have like a 2 week academy. They do it twice a year for all the newer animal control officers for the whole state of Oklahoma. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We do a half a day talk. We talk about just different snakes and the native stuff in the area, and then everything we can throw in about them, all kind of different subjects. And then for the second half after lunch, we come back and we actually get out hooks and tongs and buckets, and we have all the students go through 3 different stations. Well, actually, it's 6 stations total. But we do a non-venomous snake first with a hook, and then we do a non-venomous snake. Do a venomous snake with a hook, and then we do it with the just tongs, and then we do both of those with just with a hook and a tong. And each snake they work with gets a little bit more challenging. So that first snake is just a little rat snake. It's pretty easy, goes in the bucket. It does what it's supposed to do. The copperhead's the same way. It's had it for a long time. It's just laid back. It doesn't care. So it makes it easy, gets your confidence up because I'm pretty nervous first time you deal with the venomous snake. And then the second one gets a little more squirmy, and the bull snake we use is kind of defensive striking, and but it's not going anywhere. Man, that last rat's. Oh, and by the way, it's the non venomous are the easy. I mean, non venomous are the hardest ones to get in the bucket. The venomous ones are the easy ones. So we do. That's why we kind of do it that way too. So by the time they get to the non venomous snake with the hook and tongue, that snake wants to take off. It does not want to go in a bucket. It wants to go, and that's good because that's what you run into in the wild. So it's good training. And then by the time they get to the big rattlesnake, they're using hooks and tongs, and it's not a big deal. But me, my voice being gone, I was hoping it'd be back by then. I thought, it'll be back. It was like it'd be a week and a half or something before we did that talk. I thought, I'd be back by then. Well, it was barely back enough where I could push through and make some noise and kind of talk. But my partner Mario, he had to kind of take over a couple times and talk and help me out. Coro, if you want to be fancy with it, I learned today that you can right click the speaker icon on your desktop, go to sound, adjust the gain on your mic. Uh, maybe. Maybe so. This is not. Sometimes I'm on Linux. Well, they won't do that. So you said, learn today, you can right click on the speaker icon. Well, I am using EV Mux. Maybe there's a speaker icon down here. Okay. Let's try. No, I'm going down to the taskbar at the bottom, popping up, and I see the speaker. I can left click on it, and it brings up the settings. But yeah, I'm not going to mess with that too much, right? Not during the live stream. Let's put that down. But that, for some reason, did not work. But maybe I'll play with it later, and I can get it to work a little better. Which I felt like I should know already, but hey, Eli Fish Tanks, welcome. Elish, oh yeah, it's Elish Fish Tanks. Cool. So, I'm getting ready to do the show. Hey, Hans, how you doing, man? I was gonna talk about you in a second. Hey, while you're on here, in case you have to jump off, you gave me some fish at the show. The Alfie Simeon's Splendid guy. I forget Splendid. I can't remember what the rest of that is. Splendid something. It's really freaking cool fish. I don't have pictures of it yet, but I actually got an egg today from it. I was checking the sponge mop in there, and the spawning mop, not sponge mop, spawning mop, and found one egg. I didn't pull it, put it back in there, but hey, I'm already getting eggs from it. That's pretty cool. But anyhow, so here I am getting ready to do this show coming up, and I'm going to bring in venomous snakes, and Mario's going to be coming with me. We're all set to go. Got a hotel he booked for us. Everything's great. Well, and my voice is still not coming back, so I'm kind of stressed out about that. There we go. Excellent. Thanks, Hans. Uh, so anyhow, so I'm getting ready to go, and kind of stressed. I'm talking to Mario, going, hey, you might have to take over. No big deal. Well, on Sunday, before we leave, Monday late afternoon to go up to Tulsa. I'm not Tulsa, but to Oklahoma City. It's about 3.5 hour drive. I took the day off. I was just going to get some stuff ready and kind of hang out. Well, on Sunday, he ends up hitting himself in the head with a T-post driver. And the kind of strange part is, a friend of ours was at his place out there at the rescue, and a couple weeks ago, it hit himself in the head. Both of them put themselves in the hospital with stitches. Mario ended up with a grade 1 concussion. So I'm going, great. I was kind of panicking, going, man, he may not be able to help me out up at home the next day. So I actually called the people, and we started getting maybe some secondary arrangements, figure out what we're going to do. Because one person, I can do the talk, but of course my voice is kind of like iffy. Even if my voice is great, doing a 4-hour presentation, it wears on you. It's tough. And then you got to turn right back around and put 25 students through the course where they're actually have hands-on. Oops, microphone fell. Put put them through, dealing with venomous snakes. So that was pretty stressful, but luckily he bounced back real quick and was able to go up there. Of course, we're being very safety minded people. He was not going to be dealing with the venomous snakes whatsoever. So he was helping with the non venomous snakes. Those guys go through that part, and then they come to my station. And I do the venomous stuff. So we're very safe and very mindful of that. That when you're not right, every once in a while I get a little dizzy spells. We stood up too fast or something. So dealing with venomous snakes would have been very irresponsible. So we didn't do that. We set a good example. We're safe. So I ended up working out. Car, how you doing? Good evening. Let's see who else is in here. Ooh, biggest support group. Cool. How you doing tonight? Polycork. Hey, so let's switch over. And so I was doing that. What else? What else? Oh, and then this past weekend, we were Hans and I both, and of course a bunch of people, but Hans and I are the two kind of the killifish people in the area that sell a lot of killifish. We were at the DFW Aquarium Association's Expo. That was a new venue, which was bigger and better. I liked it better, a lot more parking. We had I had a record amount of sales there. I did really good. Probably spent I probably sold 30 to 40 killifish pairs. Of course, my wife has a tons of um, we call arts and crafts stuff, and we have other supplies and lots of stuff on the table. We had three tables set up, and I can show you pictures of that here in a minute after look at some pictures of some of the fish. So that was awesome. Of course, I'm glad Hans was there so we could swap some fish around. So we help each other out. We should be competing, but we don't think it was a competition. It's pretty cool that the fish family is just awesome. I mean, I can't say anything more about it. I mean, I couldn't be happier. When I go there, it feels like a bunch of friends. Nobody's trying to screw somebody over behind the scenes. Everybody's working together, and we all do a good job. Anybody needs something, everybody's there to help. I mean, it's a really feels like a family, and not a dysfunctional family either. It's a very nice to have. I really really enjoy it. So, thank you, Hans. Let's see what else is coming in. Let me check that real quick, and then we'll Atkins Natural Aquariums. Thanks for joining, man. Excellent show. Out 29 pairs sold here. Very happy. Yeah. So yeah, we both did pretty good then. That's awesome. I was gonna ask you how you did on that, but never got a chance to. Hi, Dirty Tank 13. Yeah, I like Dirty Tanks. They're some of the best producing tanks I've got. So very cool. Let's just scroll through real quick. Mic volume super low. Let me try flipping it over. What do you think about that? Oh, you know what? I wonder if it switched itself over, and I'm on the computer, not on my mic. Let me check real quick. Oops. All right. Okay. What do you think about that? Is that any better? Let me scroll way down here. Nope, that's worse. Okay. All right. Flip it over. It's easy enough. I'll figure this stuff out one of these days. Let's see here. I wonder why it's so low. I've never had that problem before. I've got it on the right one now. Huh. I hate if your audio is off, people turn off. So I really want to get the audio right. I may have to just end up getting a different mic. This mic has been working now. I did drop it a couple times, so that's maybe part of the problem. Let's spin this around. Let's do this. I hate jacking with this while I'm live, but I think audio is important. All right. Yeah, I don't have to sit there and hold the thing like this though. It'd be good audio. And my voice is not quite right yet either, so Here, I'll put it a lot closer. That should be good. Audio is clear, good fidelity, even if it's low volume. Well, I'm glad it sounds good. That's important. Very, very important. I guess people just turn it up if they have to. Okay. That sounds better when you brought it closer to you. Yeah. That's about as close as I'm going to be bringing it. Let me see. I can probably. Let me see if I turn it. There. Now it's really close to me. So that's about as good as I can do. All right. Let's get over here and take a look at some fish. Let's go. Where is my screen share? And wham. There we go. That's cool. All right. Now, that is an Epiplates, DJI Monrovio or something like that. It's the fire chin. It's got the usually got the red chin right there, and the females don't have a red chin, and they don't have this black line right at the bottom of the anal fin right here, and or around the caudal fin. The females look just almost as good looking as the males do. I love these guys. These are so prolific. Man, they breed like crazy. I mean, I almost can't stop them from breeding. I love these fish. I almost can't get them to stop breeding. I mean, I have a whole tank full of these things, 10-gallon tank probably. I think there's probably 30 or 40 fish in that tank at least. And adults, I mean, some young adults and some bigger adults. And I throw a sponge mop in there, and they're already breeding. I find eggs in there all the time. Very cool fish. They get about a little over 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches long, and really neat fish. They're extremely easy to keep. They're good community fish. They're just very, very calm. Uh, they don't cause any problems. I have them out in the living room, like some community tanks. They don't bother anything, hang out by themselves. Nothing else really bothers me either. It seems like. So they're pretty cool. I saw quite a few of these at the expo because I didn't have a very good picture before, so it was one of the reasons I went ahead and got some better pictures. So I had these on sale for like $10 a pair instead of 20 like everything else. So I needed to move some out because I have so many of these guys. I haven't pulled eggs in a couple months for these guys. They just man, it seems like the eggs are super fertile. The babies are really small, so you would think that they would have a hard time growing up. But I have no problems keeping these guys. Strange you mentioned clown killifish because the eggs are about the same size as the clown killifish eggs, although these are way bigger than clown killifish. I mean, they're like 3 times the size of clown killifish. No, probably 4 or 5 times the size. They're way bigger. What camera am I using? It's a Kodi HD 1080p. It's nothing fancy. Probably something cheap at Walmart I bought. I don't know. I was going around online and on Facebook Marketplace, and I'd see some stuff, and I would, some cheap of these little, what do you call them, the web mics like this. I mean, the cameras, and I was using them on a Raspberry Pi. I could hook them up to like a Raspberry Pi Zero and make a security system out of them, so you could actually watch video remotely. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, how dare you? Yeah, I have some clown killifish I've got growing up right now too. That's be playing around. There was a program, an AI program I was playing with, and so I just pulled out the killifish from another photo and just threw it on his background. It just looks kind of funny. Anyhow, this is another really cool fish. This is a Aphyosemians progranium. I can never pronounce that. Of course, I'm terrible at all the Latin names, but this one really gets me. Very cool fish. Another fish, maybe 2 inches long. Real easy going fish. Kind of the same. I mean, they eat anything I throw in there. They're fairly prolific, and their fries seem to do really well. This is a great starter fish too. It's just easy to take care of. It's a very cool fish. Yes, that's it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Like if this was the as big as a airplane, it would be. pet of the Bond villain. Yeah, yeah, it would be cool. Uh, these are really easy. They're just a pretty cool fish. Oh man, this is a classic. This is the Fendel Panchex Gardner Eye. Uh, oh man, what the heck? What blank? Starts with an M. Man, I have a nice little collar of these things, and they are really that blue too. They can even get darker blues. They are awesome. They breed like crazy. They're easy to keep. If you can keep guppies, man, you can keep these things. Sometimes the oh man, you're coming around through for me. You're coming in clutch for me. Appreciate it. But you'll have fish show up in a tank. You can community breed these things. So you just throw them in a tank. And the problem I have is I want to get as many eggs as I can. So I pull the spawning mops every day and I pick out the eggs. Well, all of a sudden I'll stop getting eggs and I got to look in there. And if I look real hard, usually poke around, I'll find about a oh, half inch to 3/4 inch long fry in there or several fry. They're eating all my eggs. So I got to pull them out. There you go. Thank you, Hans. That's the actual full locality. I should have had them on the. If I had time, I'd have put them on a picture. I just put the wording on there. But yep, that's cool. Thank you, Hans. And there's a rocky killifish. So you mentioned rocky killifish. I want to take this off because I want to confuse somebody if they just jump in here. Yeah, those little rocky killifish. I got these from Papa Shrimp. Most of you probably know Papa Shrimp, Jerry. He told me a bunch of these things, and they're breeding pretty good. I can't community breed them for some reason. They just don't fire not showing up in there, but they're laying all in the sponge mops. I mean not sponge, spawning mops, and I'm pulling eggs, and the eggs seem to be doing pretty well, and the fries seem to be doing well. They will eat vinegar eels. We remember taking a look at that a couple streams ago. We went through. We were looking at the eggs versus the different types of foods, and apparently they can eat those no problem. And as soon as they get big enough, you switch them over to frozen brine shrimp. I mean, newly hatched brine shrimp, and they do great. Does anyone these clown killies with location in the states? I think I've seen locales. People have talked about it. I don't know for sure. I don't have a locale information on these at all. Of course, most people know how to keep clown killifish. They kind of hang out towards the top of the tank, real easy, only about a little over an inch long whenever they're full grown. Beautiful fish, and this is a really nice strain too. Papa fish is a nice one. That blue on the tail, and if you hit it with a light, like a flashlight, this area, man, just kind of fluoresces right there along that edge. Really, really stunning. And this is oh man, is it Aphyosemians or no? I think this one's a um, Scripto Aphyosemians, and it is. Oh, I should have wrote these down. Such one R. I bred a few of these. I have a few of these I bred. Easy to keep, inch and a half, 2 inches long or so. They're pretty cool. Be good if I wasn't so tired. Oh yeah. Oh man, Hans, you saw this fish at the show. This is one that had on display. This is a Aphyosemian striatum. Beautiful fish. This swirl, everybody wants this swirl. Is trying to see if I have other fish with a swirl in it. But the the irony is, if you take this fish to like the AKA, put it in a contest, you probably lose points for that swirl because I don't think that's what they're supposed to look like. At least they are not from the what do you call it? Not from the wild. Let's see here. No, no Cosmin, not Rickenbachii. Those I have some of those, and actually I gave Hans a couple of those. Fry. They have a lot of real high, tall finnage on them. They look a lot different. Tell you what, give me 2 seconds here. I will look it up. It's pretty easy to look up. No, they aren't Aphyosemians. Aphyosemians. Luckily, I've got. It's Rictogenosis, Rectogenose. very cool fish. Anyhow, the striatums. This fish was, man, it's a beautiful fish. One of my favorite fish. But this pair was doing great. Laying lots of eggs for me. I had lots of fry, and I took it to the show and put it on display in a little 2.5 gallon tank with a bunch of other fish in 2.5s, just by themselves. The pair in there, everything seemed great. When I got home, went to unbag everything, I found it dead. So that broke my heart. Yeah, that was I don't know what killed it. I lost two fish the whole show. I lost a baby, a fry from a gardener eye female fry, a little fry. She died, and then that male. That really bummed me out bad. That sucked. Yeah, no collection points on yours either. Hey, Vibes, how you doing, man? Hey, there's Fathom Aquatics. Welcome. I'm not doing a very good job of keeping up who's coming in. Uh, hey, Hans, any difference in care and breeding between the? Nah, no, I don't see any difference between the Aphysemins and Chromio. I mean, the script Aphysemins, except for the script Aphysemins. Some of those, the males can be pretty rough on females. So you need to separate them for a while and bring them together, let them breed, and separate them again because I heard they can be pretty hard on the females. Let me just scroll ahead real quick here. Vibes. All right, thumbs up would be awesome. All right, so let's see what I have next here. Oh, this is this Sporn Burger Eye. Or is this? That's not Sporn Burger Eye. That's Galaris. That's from the Panchex Galaris. Kind of a big fish. Very really kind of weird. They're a uh, not a mop spawner. They're a substrate spawner. So you put a bowl down just like you would like an Othiobranchius, almost like the annuals, but the incubation period is a lot shorter. I get a few of those. I don't have very many. And that's the Panchex. Is a man. I am brain dead tonight. Applicatus, Panchex. I only have a couple males. Well, I have a couple pair now. We'll see. I can't get them to breed, but I guess they take a while. But once they go, they start really producing a lot of eggs. This is Applicatus dei. Pretty cool. These were shipped in by Sarah from the AKA. She brought them in from Thailand, and I ended up getting a couple pair off her. They breed really well too. Absolutely beautiful. They're very close. They're the same genus as the golden wonder killifish, and they look sort of like that. Not quite as gold or anything, but man, the iridescence on them is beautiful. Really cool fish. 2.5 inch long, maybe up to 3 on a really big one, but very cool fish. There's your Sportenberger eye. And I wish Scotty was on here because I'm going to give him a pair of those and lurking and eating supper. Very cool vibes. I'm going to give him a pair of this, but I did not get them out this morning because, man, I had a stomach virus this morning and I was not doing so good. So there's no way I get them out. So we try to get them out tomorrow morning. Aphyosemians Austral. That's the locale one. It's kind of chocolate, they call them too. Very cool fish. The oranges are showstoppers. During the show we had, the expo we had, they had a little area over there. We had like a little fish show for the breeder award program, trying to kick it off so you could enter. They had some categories for a while, then they opened it up to any fish. So I threw a Aphyosemians orange in there. Ended up winning third overall. It was pretty cool. This is a fun little Panchex Gardener Eye Gold. Very cool fish. They're just as easy to keep as the other Gardener Eye. Get about a little smaller than the Mache Eye. Still really easy to keep fish. Be a great starter fish. There's another Fomo Panchex. This one, I believe, is a Fomo Panchex Gardener Eye P82. It doesn't have a lot of the banding on the fins. And I have a Lafayette too. I'm going to have to count up here in a minute. This is my freak fish. This is supposed to be a dei. All the other ones come out normal looking, and this one came out looking super dark. Eyes look all crazy. I cannot zoom in and see what's going on with the eyes. It can definitely see,
Not a problem with its eyesight. It responds to food instantly. It sees me coming over, runs over, comes over to greet me and stuff. So it sees fine. It's nothing wrong with it. Just a funky looking eye. Both eyes look like that. So it's a little small fry. It's about an inch long, maybe a little longer than that now. I'm trying to grow it out and see what it'll look like. I'll try to breed it. It's freaking awesome looking. All right, that was most of the photos I had. So here we go. This is how I did it. So basically, what I have is a little 2.5 gallon tank behind here. Was this that was 2.5 gallon? Put a 2.5 gallon tank behind and put some guppy grass in there, whatever kind of uh, plant you want in the background. So this way, you put the plants back there, and then you get these. This is actually a vase. Is what this is, and I bought this off of Wild Fish Tanks in Houston when he was down there. We did the Houston show together. He was at the show. He had some of these things, and they're like $37 a piece. It's kind of pricey, I thought, but man, it's gonna be well worth it. So I bought it there. Took me, 6 months to use it almost. But I figured, hey, I'll look them up and see if I can get a better deal on them and get a couple of these. Well, I looked them up, and they are way more expensive than $37. He's got a great price on them. So if you're interested in something like that, I would go to Wild Fish Tanks and get one from him. It'd be worth it. So basically, you put the fish in the front, and the water you put in here, you gotta make sure you use very clean water. You don't use tank water. You don't, because there's particles and stuff in tank water. It'll look like crap. So you put fresh water, first dechlorinated water, whatever you got. I run mine through a carbon block. So after it goes through the carbon block, then I put it in there so it's nice and clean water. And after you put a few fish in there, and if they start pooping and stuff in there, you get all that stuff floating around. So you got to dump it out and do it again for the next fish. But this makes it nice. So it keeps the fish so they can't go too far back or too far forward, and they kind of stay so you don't have to worry about focusing so much, and they don't go back into the plants and hide, and they're all behind something or get the perfect shot, and there's that one little piece of grass or plant right in front of the eye or something that ruins a shot for you. This you don't have to worry about that. And if the fish sinks to the bottom or the top, you get a little piece of something. It doesn't really matter what. I don't think I had a zip tie laying there I used. Just reach in there and kind of gently lift it up or move it where you want to move it, and then take your shots. And I get some pretty good shots. They're not perfect. I can nitpick them, but I do a lot of photography of other animals too. So, oh well. Like a lot of snake photos and stuff like that. So, eh, we're back to the beginning. So that was pretty cool. Let's go back, and I have another folder set up. We can look at some of the expo shots. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Give it a second. It's going to try to pull up GIMP. I don't want to use GIMP for displaying the photos. If you didn't know it, I use two monitors, but the other monitor is not really a monitor. It is a old, actually, it's a really cheap. We call it like an iPad, just a little iPad thing. It's not even an iPad. It's a cheap thing from Walmart that they were doing a Christmas special on one year. So I found a program that you can use that to wirelessly connect connect it to your main laptop as another monitor. So yeah, it's pretty cool. There we go. So we were still setting up because there's Mario. He was the guy that was with me in Oklahoma, helped me with the venomous snake training. One of my best friends here, and he saw my wife set up right there. So I hurry up. This is right before the show started. I jumped up, took a picture. As you can see, I got my 3 tables here, and I put the 4 tanks in the back. This was really cool. Worked really well to be able to have some of the adult fish on display. See, my throat's already starting to go. Man, that was a killer virus, whatever it was. So what I did is I just beforehand I put a little substrate in the bottom. And then the background is actually we went to Walmart and got the file. What do you call those? I guess they're file folders, little plastic file folders, $1.12 or something like that, $1.17. I got black ones, and since this is something on my network, am I on? I saw a thing pop up saying that I haven't seen any new comments coming through, so I'm kind of wondering. That was the last thing I saw. Anyhow, I probably am. Looks like I have 19 people on. So anyhow, uh, so what I did is I went down there, since they're 8.5 by 11, and a little 2.5 gallon aquarium is 12 inches wide. I could use it, turn the the little folder thing sideways, and then just cut off the top and bottom and slide it underneath the frame, and keep cutting until it slides under the frame and it sits flush. You want okay, cool. Just wondering. So I just that was the background. So that way I did that because if you use paper or anything like that, or you tape it or something on there, it doesn't look great. The paper gets damp. Anything paper product of any sort gets damp, it'll get nasty and then fall apart on you and just be terrible. This I'll be able to reuse, and it makes a great background. Very simple. And then I went and I did this last show. I just did one tank the last show, but this time I did four 2.5s instead of one 10 gallon, and what or instead of 5 gallon. But what I do is there's one Sue shows up and she always has lots of plants, so I run over there and get some dwarf sage. I think this is actually a Valsenaria, short Valsenaria, but I just buy some plants real quick, shove them in the back of the tank, and that way it has a little background. It's amazing what just adding a couple plants like that, what it does to a tank. Makes it way better. There's a decent shot overall. So my wife does amazing. I'm close with her stuff. This the runner was her idea, and so this is how I lay my fish out. I think it's very important that it's hard to see in these pictures, but what I have here, each bend has a card in front of it, and it has a picture of the adult fish. It has information about the fish and the price on it. Because the fry, when you're on a show in a little bag, get these fry, they're half grown. They're all washed out in color. They're all washed out and they're small. They're not really colored up yet, anyhow, so they don't look anything special. So if you don't have something to show people what they really look like, especially having the adults there, makes a big difference. Outside in, we are listening to you, man, and chat less active because you have you have some awesome information. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that. So that's why I lay these out, and I put them in bins like this so it's easy for people to pick them up and look at them. And if you just lay them across the table, they get all mixed up with each other. This way it keeps everything all separate. Works really well. So as you saw, I had like 9 different varieties. Yeah, 9 different varieties. This is actually duckweed. I sold out of duckweed again. Every time I bring duckweed, I always sell out of duckweed. You would think that it'd be impossible to sell duckweed, but for some reason it goes pretty good. Of course, I have big portions of it, and I have a reasonable $5 for a big old. I mean, it's a bunch of duckweed. And the way I get it is the day before I do a show. So we're gonna do a show Saturday. I take off work Friday, so Thursday I'll go through my tanks that I'm going to be pulling fry out of, and take all the duckweed off it and stick it into one container, and then I'll divvy that container up into some bags, and I'll bag up a bunch of it. I have a big portions of it cheap because it's duckweed. I mean, I don't want to rip anybody off. But hey, people goldfish. I guess there's some cichlids and things will eat it. Some people love it. It's awesome. I mean, at one point I looked over to my wife. That's Jennifer. She's my wife. Does an extremely good job. Everything on her side, she basically makes, takes care of. I mean, she's incredible. Her and I together make a great team. I mean, we can't go wrong. If you look back here in the back, eh, this is Hans's table right here. That's he was working with Hans. I can't remember if that's his brother-in-law or if that's his son. I can't remember. I feel bad because I can't remember exactly who that was. I'm sure he might jump in here and tell me who that is. Because I feel bad I don't know. Let's see. Big Steve's glass box creations. Welcome. Let's see, outside in. I really like your vendor setup. I'm working on my vendor setup table, trying to make it look interesting. Yeah, it's important to lay things out really good. Little brother. Okay, okay. I knew it was a close family member. Very cool. And he's a nice guy too. I like him. So okay, back over to here, and the layout is important. And we're gonna change. We always change stuff. Every show we do something a little different on the layout, trying to make it better and better and better. Uh, so if you look, I looked over at one point and I see my wife standing there, and these are people all waiting to get to her booth or pay or to look at stuff. I thought, man, this is crazy. So it was a really good show. Kind of a long, just an interesting view. One thing I had out there, okay, see these bins? I like using bins like this, but we might go to something different. I think it looks a little chaotic. Let's go back to the first picture. It's just kind of like hodgepodge colors. We might go to something clear or white or just one color, maybe black. Maybe use a different bin because we like the bins like this, but kind of just this doesn't looks a little disorganized. So we want to make it look a little bit more organized. So that's one thing we're working on, trying to figure out some better way to display it. And eventually, if I get more species, like I've got a bunch of stuff that I couldn't even take out the show yet. It wasn't quite big enough. Some of the things I'm working on is like rice fish. I have two different type of rice fish. I got platinum rice fish. Then I also have black rice fish. I have some betta rubra, and they're getting about adult size. So I'm waiting for the males to start holding, hopefully soon. Get some peacock gudgeons that I'm trying to see if I can breed. What else do I have? There was something else. I can't remember what else. There's something else too I have. And of course, who knows what I'll add. Now, back to my display. If you look right here, that is hopefully you can see my pointer. I think you can. That is a microscope, one of the USB microscopes. Same one that I had here on the live stream that one time, and I was showing you guys. So I brought it on all-in-one computer and was actually displaying an egg. This is an egg and has a fully developed fry inside there. I set it up so people could actually see how good these microscopes are. And I was moving around a little bit. Sometimes you can see the heartbeat and everything right inside the egg. It's pretty cool. But as you can see, I need to do some work here. Because even Hans came over and he saw this. He thought this was pretty cool, but he didn't realize I had a microscope here. So this all blends in to everything. And I realized, oh man, yeah, you can't tell what's going on. You don't. It's hard to make a connection that I've got a microscope here that's displaying in here, and I have those microscopes for sale right here. I didn't do a very good job at all of laying this out. But for $20 for a microscope, I thought it was a pretty good deal. But that's something we got to work on. Let's see, anything going on in the chat? Yeah, it looks like vibes. I'm eating Cajun barbecue turkey pot pie, slathered in ranch dressing and cheese, macaroni salad, and cottage cheese. Hey, that sounds interesting. Anyhow, so that's kind of what we were going for there. I'll work on something, and all I had was a bag, and I need to do just a better way of setting it apart, making it a whole little display instead of just throwing it on the table like that. Of course, we got there. The doors opened at 7. The show started at 10. We got there a little after 8, so we still had like almost 2 hours to set up. It took us a whole 2-hour time to set this thing up, plus a little extra. We weren't quite ready to go whenever the doors opened up. Luckily, people had to take time to pay to get in, and so give us a little extra time. I was glad store. Dang, now I'm hungry. So, yeah, I was happy the way it turned out. There's no thunder. Look, we had some stickers too for sale. I was going to see something here real quick. Looking at the background. See if I can. Nope, nothing in the background. Anyhow, so this is there's my wife, and caught her off guard. She's probably mad at me if I put this photo up, but oh well. As you can see, all the jewelry, and she has some tumblers over there. Yeah, I have everything. We had breeding bowls right here for annual killifish. I know Hans was selling a couple annuals, and somebody came over there and I sold a couple of these to people after they bought the annuals off of Hans. So Hans, man, it might not be a bad idea to set you up some little breeder bowls or something for people to buy whenever you're doing your annuals, because I kind of quit doing annuals. She makes hats and all kind of fun stuff. There's a good picture of the full display. And so her stuff. Look at all these, man, all these customized mugs and tumblers. Some of these are pretty funny. She has, yeah, there we go. There's some, like you got the, the spray up here. Yeah, the fish food containers, those sell really well. So, yeah, a great show. It was a really, really well run show. There's some of the, even those puzzles with fish pictures and stuff on it. Pretty awesome. But, and my daughter even made some cool little pendants. I actually got better pictures of those. But it was actually a really well run show. This was a bigger venue than in the past. And uh, they are planning on opening it up, open another room up. So they're expanding it out even more. In this show, they had reptiles and fish. Had a few reptiles, not very many, but I think they're planning on expanding it on the other side and move all the reptiles over to the kind of another, not really a room, but it's like an expansion area off to the side. So it kind of keeps things separate. Oh, where do you like your table placed? And next to one, where do you like your table placed at my next one? I'm right next to the entrance. I'm a little nervous about it. Well, that's, you know, you don't want tucked in a corner somewhere or back away from everything. As long as you're in the main part of the expo, I don't think it really matters that much. Um, Try to get on the end. If you can get the end of a run, so you have a row of tables, get on the end of the tables. That way you have the end area for people to come around and look at. Because if you're in the middle, then you don't have that end for people to walk around so you can display more stuff. That's kind of a trick that's good if it doesn't matter the same price. What animals does Hans have? Hey, you have to ask Hans. I know he has a lot of cool stuff. So Hans, if you want to post what you got, if you're still on here, stuff you have for sale. He does an amazing job. I don't know if you guys saw. I think you guys saw the video. I played his video. I think the very last stream live stream I did of his greenhouse that he built. He did a really good job of making a greenhouse. I like the way it's laid out. A lot of thought was put into it. He's pretty good at graphing out, the how the layout and the how he's going to do everything, and he did an awesome job. Let me see. Do I have any more pictures here? I'll jump back. And just more of the same. No, nothing else good. So let's transition back over. So yeah, he did a man awesome. I'm kind of I want to do something like that. I just don't have time to set it up right now. I'm gonna do something different. He's got just basic greenhouse is what it's the frame is, and then he's putting things inside it, which should work great. Uh, Especially for the way he's doing. There's some definitely some advantages. He's gonna have be well off during the winter time. The way I want to do it is more like just more open, not really using a shade cloth on the outside instead of a greenhouse. And it's going to be a little different if I ever get it put together, but I don't have time to really do it before it gets extremely hot. But mine in the wintertime, it's not going to be able to keep any heat in. So I'm not going to be able to keep anything really that gets cool out in the winter at all. He should be able to with that greenhouse. That's going to be awesome. What annuals does Hans have? I don't know. Hopefully he'll jump in here and tell us. I don't remember. Big Steve's Glass Creation. What show was this? Oh, this was the Dallas Fort Worth um, Aquarium Association's Expo. They're going to be doing one again on June. Let's look at. I know they changed the date because it was Reptile Expo, but it was June 22nd. Now it's June 15th. It'll be Saturday, June 15th, be the next expo they do. I think. Oh, then they're going to do something in August on probably the 24th. That's not set in stone, and that's not going to be an expo. That's going to be an auction. They're going to do an auction, and they have these. This expo was right on the east side of the Dallas Fort Worth Airport. It's a DFW. This is the biggest show I think they've done. Man, this started out where they were just having these shows on parking lots, and they were like, "It was a swap meet." That's what it was. It was just a swap meet. They would do a parking lot where they would start doing it in like a pet not a pet. What was it? I forget the name of that. It's like a pet store. Had a big open area. They could set the tables up and sell your wares there. Now they've actually got hotels and it's growing fast. So I was really happy to see it grow. Table prices are really cheap. I like the way they keep it cheap, so it helps people out. like me when I first started, I just had one table, and I could spend $60 on a table. It's like, okay, I can afford that. I think I can make $60. So I think it really helps the person that's just trying to get into it. Maybe just wants to cover some fish food. They're not like crazy like me and jump in with both feet and have this big elaborate setup and breeding like crazy and like a madman. Uh, but I'm hoping that this keeps growing. I know they were talking about changing something up. So now there's going to have a vendors membership, and what this vendors membership would get you is you would know a couple of weeks in advance that they were going to have a show or for the tables. They just people that are part of this and have actually had had a table before and are part of the the membership for the vendors. They could get first dibs on getting a table. I brought up the idea of to like a lot of other expos do, come around right at the end to sign you up for the very next show, take a deposit or the full amount, whatever they want to do, but have the option of keeping the same spot. I like the spot I was in. I would like to keep that spot. So eventually, if we keep going to the same hotel, they've switched hotels around here recently, but now this hotel I think is the best one yet. It's bigger, and it's got can even get bigger than what it was. But I like it. So if I keep going, I'm always in the same spot. So eventually, my customers know where to find me. They know exactly where to go. They don't have to wander around hoping I'm there. They know I'm there. They can see my table, from, as soon as they walk in the door. So I think that's going to be awesome. Uh, Hopefully, the next show I even have more species available. I had a bunch of, I had several species that were really small still, just not big enough to sell. Or I have really awesome stuff like the Scriptophagus simians Schmidti. Man, that's the picture that's on my business card. And every time I do what's it called? It's on my icon for we're doing lives coming up. That's the fish up there, that blue fish. I have some of those, but I only have a few. I only have 3 or 4. And I think I'm going to take one of those as a backup pair because I only have one pair breeding right now. So I always like to have 2 pair of things I want to keep. So I need to keep one of those as one of my pairs, and I might sell a pair or 2 off. And there's also another Scriptophagus simians that only have 3 or 4, maybe 3 pair. I'm going, well, I don't know if I want to. It's not really that pretty, so I might. And it's a little bit more rare. Not really. I should say, it's more rare than like the Australs and the Garden Rye. So I think that I'm going to take those and maybe some of the AKA members or people that are really into killifish because they're just not as pretty. That's what I'm finding. If you want to sell to the public, it's got to be flashy. It's got to be. I don't care how rare it is or what it is. It's got to look pretty. So my Aphyosemians Austral oranges are, man, I could sell every one of those ever produced. Unfortunately, my 3 breeders right now aren't really producing a whole lot of eggs. But Hans, get this: when I came home, I went to put the ones I took to the show and put them in that little show thing in a 1/3 place for. They had another pair in the same container, and I came home. I saw them up in the guppy grass and some of the algae I had in there, and they're actually trying to breed. So I dropped a sponge mop in there, and I found 1 egg in there today. So I've got 2 pair in there now. Hopefully they start dropping eggs. If they start dropping eggs good and are good and viable eggs, I'll be back in business and be able to supply some people with those golds. I mean, those oranges. I have so many people asking me, just waiting for me to produce those. I feel bad because I'm trying. I'm trying as hard as I could try, but done all kind of stuff, changing waters up, feeding them more often, trying to get them to go, and I just having a hard time. Hey, thanks, Jeff. Here's something cool too. If you join the American Killifish Association, and I think it's a $35 a year membership, they have a business newsletter that comes out every month, and I put an ad in the business newsletter when I have stuff for sale. Other people do too. So this one just came out today for this month. I'm a little behind on this one, but it came out, and there's like three or four people in there that had an ads what they have for sale or what they're wanting things. It's a good place to find some really cool killifish. That's where you find the cool stuff, the stuff that's not going to be, just available anywhere. It's kind of hard to find stuff that would be available there. So you get the business newsletter. Then they have a quarterly journal comes out. The journal is full color, spectacular. I mean, it is really well done. It's a small journal. It's not a full sheet. It's a quarter sheet type thing, but the information in there is just definitely worth it. Then the really cool part is if you join and you're a new member, they'll give you a free pair of killifish. You probably have to pay for shipping unless you join at one of the what do you call it, the expos they happen to be at. So like if they were down in Houston, I think I'm not sure there's a killifish one called the killifish carnival. There may be I'm not sure, and that's coming up here in the 24th, 25th of March, something like that. It's killifish carnival. I might be sending some killifish up there to be in their show, and even go and do some proxy bidding. So hopefully there's some cool stuff on their auction that'll be available. That's another good place to get really cheap and really awesome fish. So what I was going to mention, if you join the AKA and you talk to Anna, I can put you in touch with her. She's the membership director. And you want to pair the fish something maybe I have, like some of these Gardner Eye Golds or just the regular Garja, Majaya, whatever, I will give you a pair of my fish to fill that obligation for the free fish. So let me know if you want to join the AKA. Their yearly convention is going to be coming up the weekend before Memorial Day. So it'll be I think I can't remember what dates. It's the weekend right before Memorial Day. It's going to be in Tampa, Florida. I'm going to try to make it. I know Hans said he is definitely trying to make it. There's quite a few people going to try to make it. I'm going to see what I can. I don't know if I have the funds or the time to be able to make it over there, but we're going to try. I'm definitely going to try. I think it'd be really cool. Aquashella here in Dallas is the same exact weekend. I was thinking about trying to vend at that show, but I realized that that's probably out of my league still. I don't have the enough capital to be able to afford a table. And you get like a booth, like a 10 by 10 booth, and the prices are pretty steep. I mean, like, $800 type steep. So I have to make a lot of money, which I probably could. I could probably make a lot of money, probably sell a lot of killifish, a lot of stuff. But that means I have to have a lot of them to sell. That means I really have to bump up production here, and I'm pretty much maxing out. So I think this year I'm not going to be even doing that, but that lets me free to go over to the American Killifish Association's convention, which I think would be pretty cool. Oh man, I am getting tired. My throat is starting to hurt. Where are we at? Oh, we're right about an hour or so. Perfect timing. I hope this. Oh, if you can't tell, too, I don't know if you can tell with this eye. I've got a sty on this eye. It's almost swollen shut, which sucks because it comes and goes. It almost goes away, then it comes back with a vengeance. My wife's had a couple of these, and she ended up having to go to the doctor and give some special medications and stuff. Never went away. And then she put, then they had to go in there and actually flip her eyelid open for the eye doctor. Had to go in there and flip the eyelid up and then make a incision and scoop it all out. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to that. So I'm putting hot compresses on and everything, trying to keep that in happen. That sucks. It is insane for a 10 by 10. If you want a 10 by 10 on the end cap, like if you want, like I was talking about, get there in the end, they charge more for that. It's like $9 or $9.50 for that, and that's the one I want. If I was going to do it, I might as well go all out and get a nice table up there, but nice booth on the end. But man, that's just like, dude, that's a lot. So I have to cover the cost of the booth, and then I've got to cover all my overhead on everything that I'm trying to sell. So I would have to sell a lot of stuff to be able to cover that kind of price. The last time I looked, there was a lot of empty booths for Dallas. So I don't know if they'll fill up real quick, or maybe it's an older list or something. But it looked like there's quite a few empty spots. I don't know, just roughly guessing off the top of my head, I could be way off. But looking at maybe 20% of the booths were still open, and so I'm gonna have to pass this year. That would be it'd be pretty cool. I have signed up for Houston already. That's not as big as Aquashella, but it's way bigger than the events that we do here in DFW. The reptile they do it with a reptile show next door, a well-established reptile show. We're getting well over 20,000 people coming through the door over there. Last year they had like 8,500 coming through the fish place. That was the first year they've done it. So I bet next year it's even gonna be more than that. Up here, I don't know what the numbers were, but I bet it was probably, I don't know, 1,200, 1,500 people, maybe. I don't know. I need to find out. I'd be kind of curious because it was pretty packed. That was the best show I think they've done up here. Anyhow, my throat's not going to hold out much longer. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. Have any last questions? I'll be happy to answer anything. I do have quite a few fish for sale still. I sold quite a bit, but man, I had a huge stock. What's going on? Let's see, Jeff Kane, Mark, are you willing to come north to Cataclysm one of these years? Maybe Quad City swap. It's not out of the question. That could be fun. Obviously, I probably wouldn't be able to bring everything I take to these shows here. If you take two vehicles that are completely packed, I'll have to see how far away that is. I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I wonder how far that is. That could be fun. I have to think about that. Do you have any idea what time of year those are? That could be interesting. I like to branch out and go to some other areas. I'm hoping maybe in October go up to Pennsylvania and hit the Keystone Clash. I think that would be absolutely awesome. Hey, Scott. Hey, thanks for joining us. I'm listening well at work. Have a great week, everybody. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm hoping to go to the Keystone Clash. Now, will I be a vendor there or not? And I don't know. That's a heck of a trip from here. I grew up in Southwest Pennsylvania, so that's all the way to the opposite end of the state. We're talking almost 8, probably 6.5 hours or so between the two. So it's a long way from there. I still have one or two relatives in that area. Hey, George, how you doing? Uh, but I used to drive it from here to the other end of the state, and that was a 22 to 24 hour drive, depending, if we stopped the whole lot or whatever. But it was a straight shot. I've done it many times without sleeping. Just drive all night long. We take turns, my wife and I. So we've been married for well over, that was 25 or 26 years coming up this year. So we don't have a lot to talk about that we need to talk about. So there's a lot of times it's like if you're in a passenger seat, you better be sleeping. And when you're driving, you're driving. If you need to stay awake, the other person's still kind of tired. You sit and talk or whatever, keep each other awake, and just swap off. It works great. Let's see. Saw some more stuff coming through. Cataclysm is in Madison, Wisconsin, July-ish. Not this year though. Oh man, okay. Maybe 2025, if I remember correctly. Okay. If you come to the Clash, I have no excuse to not go. It's less than an hour drive for you. Oh man, dude, yeah, man. If you're an hour drive, man, that's cheating. It's gonna be it's gonna be a 2-day trip for me. I'd have to stop unless I fly. Of course, then I fly, then I can't bring very much at all unless I ship some stuff up there or something crazy. I don't know. So the back of my head, if I end up with extra money, maybe I could rent a small U-Haul or rent a van or something like that, and pack a bunch of stuff up and head up there and just have fun. But it's a long way for me. That's the problem. It's just so far. If it wasn't nearly so far, I'd definitely be up there. Keystone Clash looks like a really fun event. I think there's a lot going on. Uh, it seems to be a lot of YouTubers and stuff there, which, well, I guess I'm a YouTuber now. I'm kind of new at this, and I don't think I'm very good yet at it, but we're still working on that. The Clash is a $2,000 round trip drive for me. Yeah. Where are you at? Where are you at, Jeff? I don't even know what state you're in. But yeah, it'd be expensive. It'd be gas and then a hotel at least, each way. So yeah, it'd be pretty expensive. Plus, by the time you get up there, then you got to buy hotel rooms while you're there. Even if I fly up, you still have a hotel. Then you got to probably get a car, unless you can kind of somehow do without a car. It's possible, probably. You could paddle it. Northern Wisconsin. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, anyhow, yeah, I don't know. I still have to think about. We'll see how well I do. I did pretty decent this show, so that helps with the money. Bring some stuff in. Anyhow, well, I think I am done rambling, and hope everybody has a good evening. Thank you very much for stopping by and listening to me ramble and look at my fish. Hopefully, I'll be doing this next Tuesday. Not sure what's going to be going on. I'm on call this coming weekend, so probably not a whole lot. But I don't know. Maybe Sunday I might not be on call until have somebody take it over. It's my daughter's birthday is that day. We might celebrate her birthday. My birthday, I was cutting down a tree all the whole weekend, so we might celebrate mine too and another friend. So that's all I got. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.